All praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakak Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. And this is going to be a video going into how it's hard to ignore, man. Like, it's truly hard to ignore, for me anyway, the similarities between Esau and women, man. And like, that's why some of the main videos that you hear topics on are on three subjects, man. The Edomite man getting judged, wicked women better repent, and Jake, you better fix up, man, because like that's the three main things that even matter for the whole of this. We're waiting for us as Israelite men to be changed and be under the new covenant. We're waiting to see Esau get judged, and we're waiting to see women get humbled, man, right? And to not be able to ignore that we was right the whole time about what we were saying about everything, and that the only reason why we didn't look like we're the right man to date right now is because this society was against us. It's not because we was actually inherently losers and these women were right about trying to reject whatever we was talking about. No, this society was not the society that shows our worth. And we actually pulled our energy out of this society and rejected it, man. And there's nothing better than an I told you so moment where you humble everybody that was trying to downplay. Like, if someone's trying to downplay your worth and make it like you ain't nothing, and then you actually show them, listen, man, I'm better than you. You're trying to judge me, but I'm actually better than you are. You're trying to look down at me like, oh, I ain't even your equal. No, you're right. I'm not your equal. I'm better than you. There's not much better than that, man. There ain't too many things that's better than that. And I'm a press player in this video anyway, man. And this is a good video. And I recommend watching it, man. It's by one of the elders in London camp, man. And I recommend watching this video because it's a good show of how proud Esau is. And it shows like the same way how Esau is now quick to get on the camera and spew his mind and prove to you that, man, you were right about what you thought about these guys. If you ever thought that the so-called white man's the devil and you was questioning it but you thought, nah, I'm being a bit harsh, man. They're not all, mate, they all are, right? And the ones that ain't are not really so-called white people. They're really Israelites, man. They're not really Edomites. They're really Israelites, right? But then you might think when you see videos on women as well and you're agreeing with it, and you might hear someone going on women and you're thinking, right, that's a bit harsh. Like, you're calling these women hoes and saying don't date no so-called black woman in that. And then you'll see how they're running their mouth online and you'll be like, raw. But you might see how the so-called white, because here's the thing, man. The Edomite men that are complaining about women in this world, right, that haven't dated Eve and haven't dated no woman of no other nation, what women are they complaining about? Are they not complaining about the so-called white woman? Yeah, they are. So don't think that the so-called white woman is just so much better than Eve. She's a demon too, and she's trying to jump on the bandwagon to try and think she can escape Obadiah, and she can't. The best thing she can hope for is for her kids that she has by Israelite man to escape Obadiah, but that doesn't do anything for her because them children are Israelites anyway, so they wasn't going to be under Obadiah 1:18. They wasn't going to be under any of the prophecies concerning Esau because they're not Edomite. So it doesn't really have any benefit for no Edomite woman in actuality for her to try and jump on the bandwagon to try and be with Jake. She'll get to sleep with a son of God and all that. All right. I guess that's going to have its own benefit, but she don't get to become an Israelite woman. She don't get to become the Israelite woman and become under the new covenant. No, she don't. She don't get to, man, but I'm going to press play on this anyway.
Shalom, shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Wa'arakah Kadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And honors to you, brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. And this Edomite man, it's a beautiful thing that they're more and more showing their colors.
Now, when I heard this elder saying this, yeah, this is not me trying to slow. Like I've said before, man. Like, you don't even need to watch my video necessarily if you don't want to. You could just watch this one, right? But like when I heard this elder saying all of this, right? The first one I was thinking is, yeah, and women do that too. And it's not to just try and be the brother that always just speaking about women all the time, but women are getting bold and spewing their mind, man. Like, a lot of women have started to get a so-called career and they've started to get a bit of savings in their bank account, and it's gassed them up, man. And they actually really believe that, like, Now that they can just go out and have these outings from day to day, that they actually have escaped the chains of men or something like that. And like when when the society falls, them same chains that they complain about men having on them are going to be the same chains that they want back on them. The same fetters of iron. They're going to want that same thing. The same, and it was really always protection, but they were going to be wanting back the exact same thing that they was trying to complain about. Just like how Esau, the same nation of people that he doesn't want to show mercy to ever right now, right? Don't you know it's mad that we're going to be the same exact people that they're going to be asking for mercy from in the kingdom? The same Edomites like this guy right here that would never show you any mercy, right? Would try and screw you over, would try and get you fired from work, and then laugh that you don't have a job when he's the reason why, right? But he would ignore that's the reason why, and be like, well, if you were so smart, I wouldn't have been able to get one over on you. This is the kind of devil that this guy is. These will be the same kind of Edomites saying to Abraham, ask Lazarus to come and dip his finger in some water so that because I'm quenched in this fire. It's mad. Just like how the same men that women reject now are going to be the same men that they're going to have the nerve to try and run a front at themselves with when all hell breaking loose, man. These same women that might live in a tower apartments kind of thing, an apartment complex, right? And they might ignore a guy every single day, right? Treat him like he ain't nothing. He's seeing her bringing in all different kind of men. She might just expect him to just move out of the way, open the door for her. She don't say thank. All this kind of stuff. These are going to be the same men that these women are going to want to try and have manners to when all hell's breaking loose, because now they realize that they're effed up and that they're around these people and didn't show any of these people any respect. It's not going to go well for any of you Edomites or you women, man. You don't get to just go around being as evil as women and Esau have been and there be no kind of backlash. Like there's prophecies that speak about what judgments are going to come to Esau, right? But you can find prophecies concerning women that sound very similar. Isaiah 47 speaks about Esau, right? It says daughter of Babylon, but it's really Esau being considered no more tender and delicate. But then there's prophecies in Isaiah 3:16 that speak about how the woman's gonna lose all of her armor as opposed when it comes to how she changes her physical appearance, and that she's gonna be desolate and sitting upon the ground. Speaks about how women are gonna lose their men, their mighty men are gonna fall in the wars. But there's prophecies that speak about how Esau's mighty men are gonna fall in the wars too, because they're so similar. Like it's actually ridiculous, man. Now, whether they're so similar right now because Esau's ruling, and in the kingdom the women are going to be copying the next ruler, which is the Israelite man. Well, that's yet to be seen. But we know right now that women and Esau are so similar, it's creepy. If you want to know what an Israelite woman would be like if she was a man, just look at Esau. And if you want to know what Esau would be like if he was a woman, just look at all the women of all the different nations, man. It's exactly the same thing. They wouldn't have no integrity, just like how Esau ain't got no integrity, but just like how women ain't got no integrity. Now let me carry on.
Especially these ones on Twitter. You know, they're always crying about they're being invaded and all this garbage because they've pretty much destroyed and spoiled all the peoples of the earth. And when those people migrate to the place where wealth is concentrated, you know, these Edomites want to be the victim. When you're the one that went out into the world, right, among the different peoples and violated more than any other. That's why the scriptures speak about you woe unto him that increaseth that which is not his. Right?
Now, again, I'm not trying to keep cutting off the video, right? But the elder just going into how Esau increased that which is not his, right? But how much of women increased that which is not theirs as well through Esau society? Like women are literally joint heirs with Esau, and like Esau and women, like the similarities that you start to see when you believe in Yahweh Shem and you believe this truth, man, it's creepy. It's actually creepy how similar they are, man. Anything that you'll see Esau do, a woman's doing similar. And then the women are only complain, and Esau only has, like, this only becomes a bit of friction when the things that women want and the things that Esau want kind of go against each other, man. But that rarely ever happens. It's rare. that ever even happens. A thing like, as long as Esau can kind of use the women to try and keep upholding his society, because they can get their benefits out of it right now, right? They can get their little praise out of it, their little attention from men and all of this stuff, and they're able to ruin men's life through the law system, right? Women will learn all the laws of the society that benefit them, and ignore, and somehow manage to ignore all the laws that are against them. Women will accept every single double standard that benefits them, and then ignore all the things, or get angry about all the things that don't. But that's the same thing Esau does. It's the same thing, man, and it's truly creepy, man. When you really think about it, it's creepy how similar they are, man. It's quite demonic, man.
Wealth which exists in the West is stolen. All right, it exists through thievery, murder, and fraud. All right.
Now, I was thinking this the other day, man, and I was like, raw, that's kind of true, you know. I was thinking women in general, man, are a lesser version of Esau. They're like a weak, whack version of Esau, man. They're like a lesser, weakened version of Esau, because they'll do pretty much all the things that Esau will do, but they won't go to war, though. They won't want to go to war and really get it popping on a physical way, whereas Esau will get it popping on a physical way. But the women won't really want to get it popping on a physical way, because they ain't got the capability, for starters, and because women are really even more cowardly than Esau. Like, we know that Esau's a coward, and like in a certain area, if you're the one of few Jakes and that, Esau will be proud as hell when you're just there by yourself. But then the moment that some other Jakes come around, he's quick. Man's quiet like a mouse, right? Shook. Same thing with women. Women will be bold to run their mouth in a group of women, right? But then to find that same woman by herself alone, and she ain't got nothing to say. Or women will be bold to run their mouth when their male cousins are around, when their male best friends around and all that, or if they know they got some man in their phone that they can try and call. But if that man, if she approaches a man with that kind of aggression, and he doesn't give a shit about anyone that she's got on her phone, right, and he's prepared to punch her in her face right there on the spot, that woman is not so proud no more. Same thing with Esau. If you're prepared to punch, I'm not recommending no one does this to Esau or women. But if a person's prepared to fight Esau right on the spot, he ain't bold like that. And that's why when it came to Esau, which it was Esau on Esau anyway, but when it came to Esau potentially having to go to war with Russia, it wasn't so bold to jump in the framework and want to get it going. And when it came to people, Esau wanting to be able to get it popping with Iran and potentially have to go to war with Iran, it wasn't just bold to try and do that. The Edomites weren't just signing up to try and fight against Iran. But if it would have been some weak army that they could just go in through and just have a field day, busting them up and then doing whatever they want to do with their women, they would have been bold to go. But whenever there's a bit of pushback, both Esau and women are cowards, because they're so similar that it's creepy, man. It's like, it's truly creepy how similar they are, man. But let's carry on.
Play this guy, man.
This is assuming.
1 second. Hey, so lucky I had to break the video up because I had to go do something real quickly. I forgot what I was saying, but I'm gonna press play on this video and hopefully it brings back up the overall topic, man, which is how Esau and women are creepily similar, man.
Shut up. Did you have the same feeling when they colonized? All right. But let me play this guy, man.
This is assuming that I've.
Shut up. Did you have the same feeling when they colonized so-called African countries? Right now, first of all, Esau doesn't have empathy or compassion.
Now, the elder just said Esau doesn't have empathy or compassion. And this is something that I think, which people can say, oh, this guy's misogynist, he hates women and all that, he mama black and all that. You can say whatever you want to say, right? But I personally don't really think that most women, have empathy. I think that they have sympathy, right? But I don't believe that they can sincerely put themselves in somebody else's shoes. Now, I know that the Israelite man has got empathy, because I myself can put myself in Esau's shoes, right? And when I put myself in Esau's shoes, I'm like, you know what? If I was an Edomite, I would do all the same things Esau's doing to try and get a kingdom. But guess what, though? I'm not an Edomite. So as much as I can put myself in Esau's shoes, I also have to put myself in my own shoes too, and know that no matter what Esau does to try and escape the inevitable, right? Because that's what he's trying to escape, the inevitable. It's not going to work. I can also put myself in women's shoes, right? Women, of course, women are going to want to date the most handsome and attractive man that's available for them today. Of course, they're going to want to. Even if they're not attractive themselves, of course, they're going to want to, right? Now, is that realistic? And are you fighting against the inevitableness of that man that you think so handsome and attractive? So are other women going to think he's handsome and attractive? And he's going to be seeing you that's not the best looking woman with him that's one of the best looking men, and he's going to inevitably want something else. But you're trying to make him lower himself in order to be with you, but then you don't want to lower yourself to be with a man. We can put ourselves in a woman's shoes and see how they would want to have what they got. But then at the end of the day, we put ourselves back in our own shoes and we realize that the things that women want and desire, although that's the reality, it's stupid, right? It's stupid and it's not realistic. The same thing how all the things that Esau's hoping he's going to get are stupid and unrealistic too, man. But we can put ourselves in their shoes. They can't put themselves in our shoes. And that's why they don't really have empathy. Esau don't have empathy for Jake. And that's why no matter what he does to us, if we do even 10% back, he'll make out like we're 500% worse for doing 10% of the wickedness that he's did. A so-called black person will have a knife and stab someone, right? But then Esau will have tanks and aircraft carriers, missiles, and be shooting them on each other. And they're looked at, oh, but that's war. Yeah, but gang crime is like war on a lesser scale. But then the hypocrisy and the lack of empathy makes them not see that. Women will complain about all the men that cheated on them. Men ain't this, men ain't that, right? But then they'll forget about all the men that they've cheated on. They'll forget about all the men that they monkey went from one relationship and got with another guy. They'll forget about all the times when a man wanted them and they didn't want the man. But then they'll cry about men that they want that don't want them. And it's because they don't really have empathy. They have sympathy. Like an Edomite will have sympathy to a certain degree with another Edomite. Just like how women will have sympathy for another woman to a certain degree. But it's not really sincere because they've still got that inward competition that they've got amongst each other. And that's why just the same way how except those days will be shortened for Esau, there'll be no flesh left to be saved. When you get women around other women and women ruling over women, they don't like it. Just like how Esau don't really like Esau ruling over them. And that's why their main complaints, despite how much they try and complain about immigrants and so-called black people, the real face of their own problems is themselves. Just like how when you look at women, women's main problems are yourself. You've caused most of your own problems that you've got a grievance with. Most of your problems that you have right now, you women and you Edomites, you got everything you wanted, and the world's been going in the way that you want it to go. And yet you're still mad and angry about how the world is when it's going the way that the direction that you want it to go. You Edomites complaining, the world's going in the direction that your main elites, the so-called best of you, is going in the direction that they want it to go for now. Right? Ultimately, it's really going in the way how Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai wants it to go, and you Edomites are going to fall. But really, for the most part, it's going in the direction that you Edomites want it to go, where no one's been able to really hinder you and stop you from getting your will. Same thing with you women. You've been asking for this, asking for that, asking for more equal rights, and you've got them. But then now you're still sour. You've been asking to get in a workplace and all of this, and you've got it now. You've been asking to have more money, you've got it now. And then you still are complaining, ranting and raving at your mouth, crying and complaining, wanting more from men. But here's the thing, it doesn't just come out of thin air. Same thing with Esau. They stole everything from everyone else, right? They stole everything from all these other nations around the world, which the elder gets into this in this video anyway. They stole everything else from around the world, right? And then now they're mad that everybody else doesn't have their own portion to just do what they want to do and just leave them alone. Women got given jobs and wealth from this world, but here's the thing: wealth isn't just unlimited. Money isn't just an unlimited thing. It has to pass from somebody else to another. So for every job out there that a woman's doing where she feels like she's successful, a man could have been doing that job, right? But then women will have all of these things, right? And then now they'll get angry when they want a man to have it, so that the man can do something for them. Just like how these Edomites will get mad that immigrants are having to come over to their country now and do a job there. But if the immigrant would have been able to do the job in their own country, they would have. Why the fuck would they travel all the way over to you when they could do it in their own homeland that's got better weather conditions anyway? Better fruit, better everything in land-wise. And if it hasn't got better things land-wise, why did you Edomites go over there and steal it all then? And pillaging the land and robbing it of its resources if it's not better than where you are? But then they'll complain that people are coming to where over they are now. Just like how women are complaining about how men ain't got this and men ain't got that. As if the reason why some men ain't got this and some men ain't got that is because now women have got it. It's like they don't think. Just like how Esau don't think, man. And that's why their falls are going to almost be similar, except they ain't no Obadiah 1:18 equivalent for women. They ain't going to be no situation where all the women get destroyed. However, there is going to be a situation, well, you know what? There isn't in terms of all women, but there is in terms of a particular type of woman. The Edomite woman is going to be gone with the Edomite man. The two worst types of humans, male and female, are going to be gone, man. Because the Edomite woman has very heavily helped the Israelite woman be so wicked as she is now. And then the Israelite woman ended up usurping it and putting her Israelite flavor on it to where now the Edomite woman talks kind of like Eve. And even the Edomite woman kind of keep showing each other back and forth on a cipher thing how to be even more wicked. But then the Edomite woman is still always trying to make sure that she's always better than the Israelite woman. Whereas the Israelite woman believes that it's the thing about women being in power, but no. The Edomite woman's always thinking about how can I use this feminism thing to make sure that I'm better than all the other women of every other nation. But the other women of the other nations are thinking, how can we use this feminism thing to make sure that we're better than men? But the Edomite woman's thinking, how can I use it to make myself be better than all the men of all the other nations and then get a fair shake or even get a position above my own man? And that's why you women are dumb that trust in this feminism thing, because really, the Edomite woman ain't on your team. She's on her own individual thing where she's even against the man of her own nation, man. But let's carry on this.
Or does he have a moral code that is universally applicable? Esau operates based upon lust. So what's right or wrong is not a constant with Esau, Edom. This is why they're a very dangerous people. Because
now,
they have...
That same thing that elder just said then can also be applied to women, man. They don't really consider what's right or wrong neither. They just think about what feels good for them. They're about what feels, right? The same thing with our Esau is, man. Esau is like that. Like they're so, the way how similar they are, it's creepy, man. And I said before, I think I've said it in this video already, that women are like a lesser, weaker version of Esau, man. They're like a lesser, lower version of Esau. They're like a weaker version of Esau, man, because they ain't got it in them to do all the things that Esau will do. The Edomite woman has, but then she has to do it in a woman way, right? But the women of all the other nations, they still think like Esau as well anyway, but they ain't got it in the physical capability or the ability through being in charge of the world to really put it into perspective on what how Esau would do it, man. But they're similar, like it's creepy how similar they are, man. And that's why the three things, like I said, is we're waiting for us to be changed, Esau to be judged, and women to be humbled, man. If those three things happen tonight, we'd all be sleeping like babies, man. We'd all be celebrating right now. If we got changed, we're under the new covenant now, we're immortal. Esau's been judged. He's our captive. He's working for us now, right? For no pay. And the women are humbled and humble. What else would we have to, what else, apart from, okay, the rest of the heathen are also under us as well. But that's going to happen anyway. But the main three, I said the main three are us being changed, the women getting judged, and Esau getting humbled, man. Esau getting judged as well. Those three are the main things, in my opinion. I can't think of, like, those are pretty much the main topics, man. MOTB covers Esau getting judged, because once he goes through with that plan, he's gonna be starting up his own destruction. But that's gonna lead to women getting humbled, because they're gonna realize that they just was always slaves to this system. There wasn't no strong independent woman, because if there was independent, now that the society is telling them bow down, they'd be like, nah, I'm independent. If you're an independent musician and a company comes to you with a record deal, you're gonna, nah, I don't want that record deal. I'm independent. But if you take the record deal, was you independent? And no, you wasn't. You a signed artist. Yeah, you get me. You was a signed artist, man. It's like how you women are gonna be signing yourselves over to Esau. Just wait, man. But Esau is gonna get humbled too.
No morals. All right. These are people who have no morals. They only have the lust. All right. All right. So
Got some universalist concept of morality, which
he doesn't have a universalist concept of morality. What that means.
And women don't have a universal concept of reality neither. And I ain't trying to be the person that's just talking about women all the time, but really think about it, man. Women don't have a universal concept of reality neither, because when a so-called black man dates a so-called white woman, oh man, he hates his mama. His mama must be so ashamed and all of this. They got so much bare things to say. But then when they are getting their swerve on with a so-called white man, the thing is, when I see a black woman with a so-called white man, I think that she must have just tried so hard with the Israelite, with the so-called black man, and then she just became tired, and she just was like, you know what, I'm just gonna move out now of the race, of the race. But she wouldn't say the same thing for a so-called black man. That when he dates a so-called white woman, that he must have tried so hard with a so-called black woman, and she was just acting up, going against him, going against the grain. So then he got tired, because they don't have a universal what's right or wrong themselves neither. Same thing with Eve when it comes to dating, for dating people that are younger than you. The so-called black woman doesn't think that if a so-called black man, let's say he's in his 30s, 40s, and he dates an 18-year-old woman, right? They'll say, oh, he a predator, right? But then if they do it, they'll think that they're a cougar and that they got their swerve and that they still got it and they still look good for their age and all that. And they'll make out like the young man that they're dealing with, right, is completely aware of everything and he's just so smart and intelligent and he can't be deceived by her. But the young woman is being deceived in some way by him, by the man doing it. Oh, he's taking advantage, but she ain't taking advantage though. Women don't think that they're taking advantage of men when they steal from these men millions. But they'll think that a man's taking advantage of them when they have sex with a man and he might deceive her in some way, or he might not deceive her, but he sleeps with her, and then bounces, right? But they both slept with each other, so he got sex from her and she got sex from him. But she'll feel like she's been deceived and shortchanged in some way, but she won't feel like she's shortchanging a man if she steals millions from him in a divorce. They won't think that because they don't have a universal moral code. Just like how Esau doesn't have a universal moral code, man. And like the similarities are creepy between the two, man. And when I was watching this video, although I was focusing on the main topic of the video, I was just like, raw. All the things that this elder's saying about Esau, I can think the same things about women in general. Not even just the so-called black woman thing. Because she gets given the magnifying glass is heavy on Eve, yeah? But then here's the thing. What about the Northern Kingdom women? They're hoes too. Right? I'll be watching one Jake on the internet, one Northern Kingdom Jake and Israel Padilla or Israel Padilla, right? And he be talking to all kind of Southern Kingdom women and they're prepared to do it with him on the first night, man. They're hoes too. He asked them to do a 360 and they're doing it. They're prepared to get it popping. They're prepared to get it shaking, man. They're hoes too. They're dressed like hoes too. Right? So if you're, and this isn't me trying to start no tribal warfare, but if you're of the North, if you're of the Southern Kingdom and you've dealt with Southern Kingdom women, you can have clear things to say about the Southern Kingdom women to where you've got a behind the scenes access and you know that tribe for real and you can see it. Now, everyone can see the things that Eve does anyway, but then if you're a Northern Kingdom, right, and you can see, the behind the scenes of the Northern Kingdom, should you be keeping that secret and not mentioning it? Or would that mean that you're being partial with the rebuke? You should be bunning out that too, because the Northern Kingdom women are wicked too, man. And if they're not wicked, show them under the new covenant. Show them under the new covenant just being Proverbs 31 women, man. You can't do it. They're hoes too, right? The so-called white woman's a hoe as well. The Chinese woman's a hoe. best believe that there's adultery going on in the land of Moab. If they'll eat snake, if they'll if they eat snake and tiger meat and all that, you think they won't put another man's rod in their mouth while they're in a marriage? Yeah, they will. Now, will they be humble in that? Oh, we love you long time and all. Yeah, they'll do a love me long time and they do it, but they do best believe before they was doing a love me long time with a man's, they was doing a love me short time with another geezer. Yeah, a couple of love me short times with the next man's, bro. And that's what you can tell that the Moabite woman's wicked, because they're some of the main women in this world that love Esau. To be honest with you, that's how you know they're wicked, because they love up Esau, man. When they date Esau, they make out like they've reached the pinnacle of society, bro. They make out like they're under the new covenant when they date Esau, these Moabite women and these Ammonite women. They love Esau, man. They love Esau's dirty drawers for real. Yeah? So Eve, okay, Eve's wicked, yeah? But all these other women have got flaws too. And you want to know how we know this? When we're in the kingdom and we're changed, the Israelite woman's going to be perfect. Now, if there's no problems with any of the women of any of the other nations, I guess when we go around Isaiah 2-ing up the place, right? And Micah 4-ing up the place, right? Isaiah 2 rebuking, no more swords, no more war. I guess when we go around and see what the women of the other nations are doing, there ain't going to be no problems, is there? It's only going to be the men doing things wrong, innit? If that's the case, then we ain't going to see no Moabite woman do nothing wrong, no Ammonite woman do nothing, no Hamite women do nothing wrong, right? It's just going to only be the men. And we're just going to have to keep saying, men, you've got these beautiful, delicate women. What's your problem? Like, what else could you want, lads? Like, what else, and we're going to be saying it in Hebrew, though. What else could you want, lads? Like, you've got these delicate Moabite kittens. Like, what else could you want, mate? Like, stop eating lizard meat, yeah? And just pack it in, mate, and just get with these Moabite women that are just so delicate and tender. No, we're not going to be seeing that. They're going to be wicked too, man. They're wicked as well, man. It's just that the magnifying glass has been heavy on Jake and Eve so long for right now that everyone's trying to ignore what these other people are doing. But thanks to the internet, it's been exposed how wicked Esau is in general and how wicked women are in general, man. When you be watching these compilation videos of men, like even when I see some of these videos and I'm like, there'll be a video of a so-called white woman before the video of a so-called black woman, and then the person that's on the video, it might be even an AI sounding voice, and the person will make sure to mention the so-called black woman, this and the so-called black woman and that. And I'll be like, hang on though, but it was just a video before that of a so-called white woman saying similar things, and you never mentioned that she was a white woman. You never mentioned she was a so-called white woman when she was saying similar things or worse. And that's why it's not just a jump on Eve party around here. Women in general are wicked like Esau, man. They're wicked like Esau in general. Women are like Esau, and it's creepy how similar they are, man.
Is that murder is universally wrong, right? In the law of the Most High. It doesn't matter who you are, murder's wrong.
And Esau doesn't think like that. Esau thinks that when he unalives somebody, it's justified. He always thinks he's justified in doing what he does, right? But then guess what, though? Going back to the overall topic of this video, women always think whatever they do is right. And that they're always justified in whatever they do. When women rinse men out for their money, right? And in some divorce, or when women lie about a man's child being his and rinse him out and waste his time for 18 years, they feel justified. And they'll come up with some crazy excuses. Oh, he's still your son. No, he's not. Oh, he's still your son. Esau would be talking about I civilized you. Oh, you were swinging on trees in Africa before. Let me swing on the tree, man. Do you know what I mean? Let me swing on a tree in Africa. Why do you care if I'm swinging on a tree in Africa for? Yeah, if let's say we was, just okay, let me swing on it, man. Why do you care? Go live your life wherever you are, man. Leave me swing on a tree in Africa. I'm sure eventually I would have got bored of swinging on these trees in Africa and I would have thought, you know what? Maybe I need to make a toaster and a kettle. We would have figured it out, man. And let's say we wouldn't have, leave us to do what we're doing, man. Let us swing on the trees in Africa till the cows come home, man. Why do you care? Because you don't like us. So why are you pretending like you care about whether we stopped swinging on trees in Africa? You didn't care about none of that, man. We weren't swinging on no trees in Africa neither.
is wrong. Adultery is wrong. These are universal. It's wrong if an Israelite does it. It's wrong if a heathen does it. It's just...
Now, back to this, it's wrong if a heathen does it, it's wrong if a Edomite does it. When it comes to women, right, they think that certain things are wrong if a man does it. But it's not wrong if a woman does it. For example, if women say they want to date men that are tall, right, they want to date men that have got not just a job, a good job, right, they think that's okay. That's my preference and what I desire, right? Esau thinks if he goes into someone's country, steals every rascal thing out of there, right, that, oh man, I'm justified in doing that because they didn't know what they was going to do with that property anyway, and I'm going to do something better. Even if they did have plans for whatever they was going to do with it, what I'm going to do with it is better, so I can do that, right? Women think, I mean, but then if the same thing gets done to Esau, right, they'll be crying all kind of tears if just somebody non-white moves into the neighborhood. Oh, here we go, right? And women, if a man starts saying, okay, I don't want to date fat bitches, right? I don't want to date women with blonde hair. I don't want to date women with straight hair. I don't want to date women with curly hair. I don't want to date women that have got a fat face, right? I don't want to date women that don't make this amount of money. Women start crying. Or I don't want to date women that weigh more than 150 pounds. They start losing their mind, right? I don't want to date women that have slept with more than 5 men before. I don't want to date women that have slept with more than 1 man before. I want to only sleep with women that are virgins. Oh man, you're misogynist. And that's what Esau will try and come with when we start bunning him out for his hypocrisy. Oh, y'all are racist. Y'all are racist. The so-called white man is the most racialized group of people in the world now. And women will come with that same kind of foolishness. Women are the most petrified and the most tetrified and the most electrified group that everyone's just against us in this world. Same thing Esau does, man. It's creepy. Like, it's truly creepy how anything you can pretty much, like, I don't want to make this video just to jump on the woman bandwagon all the time, man. But really think about it. Like, don't just get on a hype and just be, this guy's just talking about women. Really sit down and think to yourself, if you're a man with a thinking brain, right? Or even a woman with a thinking brain. And be like, man, the things that I have got a grievance with that I say about so-called white people, are they pretty much all the same things and hypocrisies that I can see and double standards that I can see within women? Really sit back and think about that. Because I've been pointing out some of the things during this video, but you sit back and think about it in regards to your life, man, and really think about it. Right? Let's carry on.
It's wrong. Right? It's not right for an Israelite to commit adultery, even if it's with someone of another nation. It's not right. Right?
Absolutely no, it's not right. But women will think it's right for them to commit adultery. And Esau will think it's right for him to commit adultery. But then he'll cry. And even some Jake men will think it's okay to commit adultery against another man's wife, but then be mad against him. But women and Esau are some of the main groups that will be crying all kind of foolishness whenever something's done to them. But then the moment that they get that somebody does the same thing back to them, right? I mean, but then the moment that they get to do it to somebody else, they ain't got nothing to say. Women will divorce men, get some child support money, oh yeah. But then when they see a woman having to do the same thing, now it's, oh man, this isn't right. And as a man, you shouldn't be taking no money from a woman. But as a woman, you shouldn't be taking no money from a man. And to a certain degree, the male and female thing has got certain double standards, right? But women are trying to make the double standards be for the standards that they want it to be. Where it's the standards that Yahweh set up. Yahweh is the one that decided and made women in such a way that if a woman just goes around sleeping with loads of men, she's going to get diseased and riddled, man. It's going to be gross for her. Like, just picture this, man. Like, if let's just say, right, and I ain't trying to really make it be too gross, but let's just say I had a glass of orange juice and I spat into my own orange juice, right? Let's just say I spat into my own glass of orange juice, right? It's not as gross if I drink from that orange juice again, if I spat into there, or let's just say I drank from it in general, and some of my saliva goes back into my own glass of orange juice. That's not as gross. But then if another man comes over now to my glass of orange juice and drinks from that now, Yeah, and then I drink from that same kind of glass of orange juice again, and my lips are now going on the same container and glass as that person. That's gross, kind of. That's gross, isn't it? But then now let's say a third man comes and drinks from that glass. And then now the first man goes back again and then he drinks from that glass. And then a second man comes and he drinks from the glass. And then now a fourth new man comes and he drinks from that glass. Yeah? And then now it keeps happening until there's been 10 men. Is there even going to be a space after 10 men drink from that glass, right, that you could place your mouth somewhere that someone else's lips haven't even been before? No. Just like how when so many men have dealt with a woman, is there going to be anywhere on that woman that man can touch, that another man's hands have not even been there before? No. Is there going to be anywhere that he can touch her on her body, or anything that he could even do to her that she ain't seen some other man do? So then she's going to be comparing the positions that he puts her in to another man that put her in the same position. That's gross. Right? That's brother. No, brother. That's gross. But the double standard that Yahweh set up is that's gross when women do it, but women don't think that it's gross when men do it. There's a reason why all these women are all up in Chris Brown's face, you know. There's a reason why all these women are up in King 6'8" the Great's face. There's a reason why all these women are all up in Marlon's face. There's a reason why all these women are all up in Usher's face. Yeah? There's a reason why all these women are all up in Ghost from Power's face. Yeah? There's a reason why all these women are all up in Leonardo DiCaprio's face, Brad Pitt's face, David Beckham's face. There's a reason, because they don't think it's gross. When a man has dealt with loads of women, they don't think it's gross. They think, yeah, okay, he's dealt with 250 women. I'm finna be 250 first, so that I can compete with all the other women. They think that we're not making them think this. These are the things that they think. They can try and say whatever they want to say, but that's what they think from their mind. It's not a thing that we're making them think. They think that. They're the ones that thinks these things themselves, man. They have that competitive thing against each other in their mind. Whereas men don't think that's a good thing. Men find it gross. We'll feel like, man, I'm gonna be diseased if I deal with that woman. But women don't think that. They'll say they do, but they don't really think that. So there is double standards, right? But there's not double standards when it comes to righteousness, though. But Esau has a problem with understanding that. And that's why Obadiah 1:18, man. That's the reason why Obadiah 1:18 is going to happen. Now, I haven't even got into 3 minutes of this video. And how long has this video been going on? 40 minutes, man. Because you can easily see these things. Now, let me play a bit more.
We have laws like remove not thy neighbor's landmark. That also applies to the heathen.
Exactly. In the kingdom, we ain't just going to be going upside the heathen's head for no reason. But Esau goes upside of our head for no reason. Esau will try and put you in a bad situation in this world, even when you follow in the ways that he says you're supposed to follow. Esau will pull a rich Jake over in a car that's nice, right? When that rich Jake is literally followed all the rules that Esau's talking about following in this world in order to get money. So, and they've did it and they've achieved it, but now Esau's mad. Now an Edomite police officer wants to pull a Jake over because they're curious to know what job he does. They already know really that he ain't doing nothing wrong, but they might just want to. I wonder what job that black fella does. So let me pull him over. I know he ain't did nothing wrong. I don't think he's a drug dealer, but I want to pull him over. I want to see what job a so-called black man's did or doing to get this thing that I ain't got. Let me pull him over. And let me lie, sir, I could smell marijuana. You was going a bit 35 in the 30 zone, oh yeah? We had reasons for super suspicions to believe that you was in the You're a damn liar. But get it over with so that the guy can go about his business.
Okay. We're Israel. We don't have a license to only keep the law of righteousness in regards to ourselves. We keep the law and righteousness universally.
And that's why it was such a good video that the Apostle Aaron Amla made, where he said, if you're the people, where's the kingdom? And it's an excellent question. And he was going like, "What? He said like, how much longer are we gonna have to wait, man? Is it gonna need to be another 1,000 years before you get everything together? Like, where's the kingdom at, man? Where's the kingdom at? Where's King David at? Since you think you know so much." And that's the same thing with Esau. You think you're so smart. Okay, where's the kingdom at then, man? Where you've had to do all this murder to everyone else, right? And you still ain't even got what you want. You're still crying and complaining. You still ain't even achieved nothing with all these people's souls that you sent into the grave, right? And you still are crying about everything happened years later. Centuries later, they're still complaining, man. Still complaining, still miserable. Esau is really a miserable group of people, man. They're miserable. Just like how women are miserable, man. Now, we're miserable in this world too, but we ain't going to be miserable in our kingdom. Esau is miserable in his own kingdom. So how much more in ours? And there's a scripture in Sirach, man, 10:30. The rich man is honored for his, the poor man is honored for his skill, and the rich man is honored for his riches. He that is honorable in poverty, how much more in riches? And he that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty? And Esau can't be happy now, right? So how much more miserable is he going to be in our kingdom when he ain't got no say about nothing? But then you can say similar things about women. Women are getting most of the things that they want right now in this world, and they're still bawling out, man, crying and complaining about something. They literally have all the money that they need to sustain themselves, and they're still looking in a man's money direction for money. You know what I mean? Like, they're still, like, I really believe if a woman was a billionaire, that she would still be looking in a man's direction for money. I still think she'd be looking in a man's direction. She wouldn't, or if she was a trillionaire, and a trillion is a million. A trillion is a million, you know. And I still believe that if a woman was a trillionaire, right, she would still be looking in a man's direction for money. She wouldn't be thinking, I've got a trillion, so now any man that I have around me, I can just don't need to worry about, him and me don't need to worry about money. She'd be thinking, no, I don't need to worry about money for myself, but he better worry about money for me. Same thing with Esau. Esau, no matter how much money he got, right, he's still watching Jake's portion, man. He's still trying to see the little small portion that we got, trying to peel that off. It's disgusting. And this video could really go so much longer. I've only played 3 minutes, 5 seconds of this. And I've only had to be really been quoting scriptures and making points, man. But when I watched this video, I was just thinking, man, the similarities between Esau and women are creepy. Let's carry on and play a bit more, man.
Law is applied universally. Esau doesn't believe in that because he doesn't have morals. He doesn't have a moral which applies. So stealing is okay as long as it's not happening to him. If he's benefiting from stealing, then stealing is okay. If he's not benefiting, then it's wrong. That's the basis of his morality.
I don't. What's good for me is good, and what's bad for me is bad.
Now, oh man, yo, like you hear, like the internet's amazing, man. It really has baited out the mind of these Edomites, man, and shown that these people are the Edomites. Because you can find scriptures that show these things, man. Like one good scripture that goes very well with this whole video after I watched it was is the scripture in I want to say either Sirach the second, no, it's Wisdom of Solomon the second chapter, right? Wisdom of Solomon the second chapter, the 11th verse, that goes into how let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. And Esau doesn't respect nothing but power, right? But women don't respect nothing but power neither, right? And that's why they all love Esau right now. But then when Esau falls, all these same women that uphold his society right now, they're gonna be, the way are they gonna jump ship? Esau's gonna be like, yo, what happened to these hoes? These women was all on my jockstrap last week. And now look at how they're talking to me. Look at how they're looking at this woman here is talking about trying to snitch on me. But mate, the other day, she was with me on the island. You know what I mean? They're gonna know. Because the same way how Esau will betray, like you'll see these Edomites talk about some art. If if America went to war with Russia and we was losing, oh, just learn Russian. They don't stand up for their thing and fight. They're just cowards, right? Same thing with women. Women, all these women that talk, even these women that are talking about they would never date a so-called black man. I would never date a so-called black man. They're just gross, and I think they're monk. Say these same women saying all of that, right? If they seen so-called black men tomorrow, they just woke up and we'd switched roles, trading places style, and we're the ones in charge right now. Them same women that was saying all this, these men are ugly and all that, they'd be honest. And we'd be able to see, it wouldn't even be sincere, but they'd be honest though. Same thing with Esau. When these Edomites see that we're in charge of the world, they're going to be trying to actually seek some favor, man, and they're not going to find any. But the same thing with women. Then she that is mine enemy shall see, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is Yahweh power? Mine eye, mine eye shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. But Esau's going to see it too. And he's going into captivity, man. Esau's going to see us get changed up too, man. And we're going to rule over our oppressors. Now, some people might not get what point I'm trying to make in this video, but I think that the point is very clear. Women and Esau, all women, not just Eve, not just the so-called black women, all of them, they all really think very similar to Esau. The majority, right? The majority of women really think like Esau. And now, is there some women amongst the tribes that are all doing okay? Yes, there is. But the majority are not, though. You know how even the majority of the men of our nation ain't doing it. And they don't even have the thing to believe that we're Israelites. They think it's foolishness to even believe that somebody would lie about us being the God's chosen. They don't think that there's any possibility of that. The amount of lies that have been told about us in history, but they don't think that one of those lies could be that. They think that we're lying when we say that we're the Israelites, but then all the lies that have been said about us over the years, that we're monkeys for starters, right? They don't think that someone that would lie and say you're a monkey would also lie about who your nationality is and try and steal it from you and call themselves an Israelite while saying you ain't shit.
Right. So he operates based upon the rule.
I'm gonna end the video there anyway, man. And like I said before, you can watch this video. I recommend watching this video, right? But I just wanted to go into some things and just show that like the similarities between Esau and women are creepy, man. And that's why they're gonna get very similar judgments in the times to come. It's going to be very similar the way how both groups are going to be judged, man. And I'm going to say shalom to the elect.